So, as most of you have probably heard by now, Joy Reid has been officially let go from MSNBC. Her show has been canceled completely. And you usually feel for someone losing their job, losing their livelihood. But this is a special case where I personally do not care because of all the hateful things she has spread throughout her career on MSNBC. How much she just attacks conservatives with every little breath, attacks non-black people with every little breath. That's like all she knows how to do is just be divisive. I'm the victim. Listen to me. So I don't feel bad at all for her losing her job. So we're going to dive into this, all the stuff she has said throughout the years, all the hateful content, the racism that she spews out her mouth when we get into this video. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to all my social medias down below. And let's just dive on in. So right here, it says Joy Reid, fired from MSNBC amid network shakeup. Political commentator and television host Joy Reid has been fired from her position at MSNBC, where she anchors her show, The Reidout. The move comes as the network is restructuring its programming. And this is true. MSNBC has lost, I believe, like 30 to 50% of their viewership since the election. So, yeah, they definitely need to do something. And I think the network heads up top are realizing that what we're doing right now, which is just constantly spewing fake liberal propaganda, is not getting us viewership. So I think they're trying to get rid of all the extreme people like her and try probably bring in more moderate people or people with different perspectives to try to help their branding some to get people to watch them, which makes sense. So surprisingly, Rachel Maddow actually came out after this happened, and I will say, give her credit, she defended Joy Reid and attacked her network for this firing. Now, to me, this makes me think that she probably thinks she's next, so she probably has nothing to lose, which she makes like $20 million a year, so I definitely don't feel bad if she gets fired. But let's just take a listen because she says some interesting things in this video too.
Readout ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. And that is very, very, very hard to take. I am 51 years old. I have been gainfully employed since I was 12. And I have had so many different kinds of jobs, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. But in all of the jobs I have had, in all of the years I have been alive, there is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid. I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her. I have so much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague here at MSNBC. And personally, I think it is a bad mistake to let her walk out the door. It is not my call, and I understand that, but that's what I think. I will tell you, it is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got two non-white hosts in primetime, both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows, as is Katie Fang on the weekend. And that feels worse than bad, no matter who replaces them. That feels indefensible, and I do not defend it.
So, as usual, I will say I thought Joy Reid was going to be the one to play the race card and say that she got fired for racism. Rachel Maddow actually came out and said that. Usually she goes like the sexism route. So I felt like this was very interesting. So she comes out and says that because Joy Reid got fired, it's because of racism. It's because she's black. The other host, I believe, was either black or Hispanic. And then the one that weekends, I think, is Asian. So they got fired because of racism. That's basically what she is saying. So if we actually look at, sorry, I should have had this organized a little better. Right here. This shows hourly audience for each big network. So Fox News, MSNBC, CNN. It's a little hard to understand, so I'm going to try to explain it a little bit. So each time slot, 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., all the way to 11 p.m. is the time slots of these major network hosts that have their shows. So he's like 6 p.m. Brett Baer, 8 p.m. Jesse Waters, Anderson Cooper, Jen Psaki, all the big name people that have their show every night, Monday to Friday. And the blue is the viewership from 25 to 54-year-old demographic viewers. The black is total viewers. So you got Joy Reid, right here at 7 p.m., middle MSNBC. If you look at all the television hosts, she has the lowest count for 25 to 54-year-old viewers, which means if the youth is not watching her, there really is no future for her show. Now, I will say that it's not fully her fault. The youth is watching less and less network television, more podcasts, more YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, whatever you want to call it. But Fox News is still going strong with their younger group compared to CNN and MSNBC. And I will say, if you look at comparison, Rachel Maddow at 9 p.m. has 144,000 younger views. No idea why. Don't know who watches her. I don't know one person in real life that watches her. And compared to just 59% of Joy Reid and just 778,000 in general. And that could just be a lot of people just keeping the TV on, background noise. You don't even know if they're actually watching it. So this is a big reason. So that's, wouldn't argue it's racism. I would say she just doesn't have a popular show. Nobody likes listening to her because all she does is spew racism. And this is just...
My show had value. And that... I'm sorry.
You want to feel bad for her, but the way she's treated like anybody that's different from her just over the years, like you just can't. Like, I just don't. I'm sorry. That might make me a heartless person. I just don't. And like just look at this. Perfect example of why you shouldn't feel bad.
There's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears. Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as they get caught, it's like, green waterworks. White men can get away with that too, and it has the same effect. My show had...
So making fun of white people crying, pretty much. That's all that was, because that's what she does. Now there's one video here. I'm not going to play it, but basically Joy Reid mocked police officers who were fired for refusing the COVID vaccine mandate. This is the same kind of person that's freaking out over all the federal workers losing their jobs right now due to layoffs from Doge, but mocking the people that didn't want to get a jab in their arm, which they should have been forced to. It's ridiculous. This right here, I don't know who made this. I guess it's Mr. Tom Elliott here. Let me go to his actual page. This is just a beautiful supercut of everything she has said. I'm going to speed it up a little bit so it goes a little faster. Just please listen. This is absolutely great.
Why would they call me that? Is this really about me fixating on race, or is it about you fixating on race?
But Donald Trump wants to never let black and brown folk up off the mat. Evident what they mean by DEI, right? Why not just say what you mean? You can't stand black people. We get it. You've been heard. Are you committed to naming a black woman as your vice presidential running mate? They wanted to go after the brown people too, because of course that is their other target.
You feel joy? Say joy.
It's not fashionable to be openly racist anymore in America, unlike what they call the good old days. Only the white Christian men may have the things. So you own everything that happens to your mixed status families and to your wives, sisters, and abuelas.
Joy.
If you are black plus anything else, you are black. Violent white nationalism that today threatens our national security.
Make a joyful noise.
Don't send any of those invites to any black women you know.
We do have a fascist groundswell in parts of this country, mainly among white men, let's be clear.
I mean, you're also a white guy. Are you saying the we as white folks need more kids?
Make your own dinner, MAGA. Make your own sandwiches. Wipe your own tears.
Only God can give that woman the kind of joy she has right there.
Similarities to what happened in Germany and what's happening now in America are just undeniable. Donald Trump is acting like a Nazi, talking like a Nazi, and now posting like a Nazi. Like Trump, Hitler was also viewed as a clown, a goon, who could be kept in line after a 4-year break to, learn to accurately quote Adolf Hitler. And right-wingers were saying, get in the oven anytime.
Okay, I think you guys got the idea. Minute and a half sped up. Yeah, so that's the kind of hateful rhetoric she has been spreading herself for years now. And now she wants people to feel bad for her for losing her job. And now it really makes you think, like, all she does is attack white people, right? She basically attacks anybody that's not black. She might defend Hispanics once in a while, but mainly her whole argument is I'm for black people only. So if you're basically running to support 13% of the population, you're going against 87% of the population. How do you ever expect to have a high viewership? You're singling out 87% of the population and saying they're against you and playing victim. Why would any of that 87% ever listen to your show, ever watch your show, ever give you the time of day? They wouldn't. It'd be a huge waste of time. And that's what you do when you have hosts like this, when you have a mindset like this. It's okay to have different point of views, but when you make your whole personality and your whole show just about race, black people are victims, even though I'm making millions of dollars being a host of this TV show, you could literally be an inspiration. That's why I really don't understand that, black people that are successful could be an inspiration to people, saying you can do this, you can make it here. And instead you play victim still when you're millionaires. It makes no sense at all. And I think this is funny right here. MSNBC's Joy Reid addresses homophobic blog post his controversy. This was back in 2018. Now, this is really stupid, but this is something that liberals will get mad about. Conservatives are probably like, this is dumb. Like 2010, comments about calling Lindsey Graham Miss Lindsay. Like, that's funny. Lindsey Graham's a joke, but apparently that's homophobic to call him Miss Lindsay. Or Charlie Crist, back when he's a Republican, Miss Charlie. Like, it's just stupid. It's like, but they're like, they made a whole article about comments like this. And then she apologized for it. Like, all these comments. Like, it's crazy. These aren't even that bad. But they took the time. BBC wrote this whole article. The mindset's crazy. So what I did was I compiled, because all of X, all of social media is making this a race thing. She's fired because she's black. America's racist. You know, the typical things they like to say. So what I did was found a bunch of black conservatives that you guys probably all know pretty well. You probably watch their stuff. And what their thoughts are on this whole firing. Because, you know, I'm just a white guy. Why does my opinion matter, you know? So I want to give you guys the true opinion from a black person about a black person. So this is Rob Smith. He explains it really good here. I'm going to play it.
Let's talk about how absolutely terrible Joy Reid has been to black Republicans and black conservatives. This person basically led online hate mobs against every major black conservative figure, but called black Republican Senator Tim Scott, Uncle Tim online. Okay, obviously she was trying to make a play on Uncle Tom. So when that was trending, Joy Reid not only hopped into that, but elevated that as well. She had Byron Donalds on her show to try to bully him, to try to speak over him, to try to make him look stupid. She has used her platform on MSNBC to bully, denigrate, and smear and lead online hate mobs against every major prominent black Republican figure in American politics. This is who Joy Reid is. I have no sympathy for this person. I have no sympathy for her tears. I hope that there are many more of them, because when you are a black person and you use that platform to denigrate, bully, and smear black people just because they are Republicans, just because they are Trump supporters, you are not for black people. You are not pro-black people. You are a token for your white liberal masters. You Democrats love to say this. Tokens get spent, and you have just been spent by MSNBC.
So he just basically thrashed her there. Rob Smith is really good at explaining stuff like this. Like he's not playing around when it comes to Joy Reid. Another one who's good, Officer Tatum, always provides good insight. So here he is.
Oh, she crying. I can see the tears in her eyes. Now I'm not trying to be mean to the milk dud, to the racist milk dud. I'm not trying to be mean to the milk dud. But what I will say is that all that stuff you've been talking about, MAGA, I mean, you've been hurtful in the things that you've been saying about people that support Trump, about black folks that support Trump. You've been lying about Donald Trump. You've been lying about his convictions. You've been lying about Joe Biden. You've been lying about COVID. You've been lying and lying and lying and lying. So now you're crying. I don't care. Wrote a film.
My show had.
So basically, he just talks about her crying on her video for sympathy, but he makes a good point. You can't dish all this hateful speech out to the whole world, out to more than half the country. Trump won the popular vote, and expect sympathy in return. And what the funny thing is, her view count was so low, right? So that means a majority of her own people, liberals, were not watching her either. She did not have the support from her own party, and she's going to try to get sympathy from the whole world. Another one, Jason Whitlock, really good at explaining things.
The entitled mind is the most dangerous mind on the planet. And Joy Reid has a very entitled mindset. And that's why she is her demise is being celebrated all over the internet, and people are calling her the most racist person that's ever been on major television in the last 30, 40, 50 years. Now, think that through. Who's all the men that have had TV shows on national TV regularly, on some sort of major network? They're saying Joy Reid takes the cake for racism.
People are saying that she is the most racist person to be on TV. That's crazy. Obviously, liberals aren't going to say this because, you know, in their eyes, black people can't be racist. But all she does is spew racism, spew hate. You can't expect to be successful being like that. And then I'm going to show you, this is my last one I'm going to show you about black conservatives. This is Terrence Williams. He's hilarious. I don't know if you guys follow him. He does these like, I think it's on TikTok. What is it called? Stitch. You think I would know I have TikTok. I think it's called Stitch, where you go to the side and then you let the video play and then you eventually talk. So what he does a lot of times, he'll just listen and kind of troll and then he'll come out with something. So let's play a little bit at the beginning and then I'll cut to the middle.
My show had value, and that, I'm sorry, that that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And then it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you.
So that's him just trolling. And then I think it's about, I want to say 2 minutes in, he actually starts talking.
Of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my show.
Well, you can't be proud of your show. You ain't got no show no more. Joy, it is a joyful time that you will not be on TV anymore. You are one hateful person. All you did was raise bait. All you did was tell lies. You were nothing but fake news. And, you know, Black History Month is almost over, so this is a great way to end it, getting rid of you. Oh, my goodness. These pancakes taste so better when you're crying.
Oh, yeah, Terrence Williams is hilarious. He said this is a great way to end Black History Month. But, like I've said in this video, like he said, like these artists, you can't spew hate and expect sympathy in return. You just can't. That's not going to ever work. So a lot of people are trying to discuss what she is going to do after all this. So she's completely gone from MSNBC. Obviously, Fox News isn't going to hire her. I doubt CNN would. So I think she's going to do the Don Lemon approach and try to go independent, like start her own YouTube channel. She's got the money for it. She's probably got a extra room in her big ass house for it. So I want to talk about this. So this can work if you are a strong enough and good enough reporter and news anchor. So I'm going to show you two different people who have gone independent. The other one might be obvious at this point. One's been very successful and one's been largely forgotten about. So if you haven't guessed already, Don Lemon's the one that's largely forgotten about. So he's got 540,000 subscribers, which I think I have 2,900. So I'm not going to make fun of that. You know, he's much larger than me. But if you look at the views from his solo career in YouTubing versus like if he was still on CNN, it's insane. So like this video, only 15,000, 30,000, 14,000, 15,000, 12,000, like 9,000. I'm a no-name YouTuber. I've had 2,000 on a video before. So it's like he doesn't get a lot of views. He's largely forgotten about because at the end of the day, he wasn't a good news anchor. So when you see news anchors, I will say there's bad Fox News ones too. I'm not going to say like it's just a liberal thing. When you see news anchors, you can tell a lot of them are just spewing what they're told to spew. They're just reading teleprompters, telling what the network. Like one example, and I don't know if I'm going to get some hate from people on the right, I don't like from Fox News is Jesse Waters. I think he just reads I don't think he believes really anything he says. I don't think he cares. I think he just reads what he's told to read. And I think that's it. Like there's one time where he said he thought $20 an hour was $100,000 a year. Like how are you that out of touch? You think $20 an hour is $100,000 a year. That's insane. So people like him, people like Don Lemon, who just read teleprompters and don't actually give their own opinions. So I think she's going to go down this route. I don't think she'll be successful. I think it's probably worse than this. And then she'll probably cry racism. Now, the person I want to show you that is successful, if you haven't guessed already, is of course Tucker Carlson. He obviously, I think before he left Fox News, had the biggest talk show host of all of them. So he had a little bit of an advantage there. But so he's got 3.7 million subscribers. And he's what, 400,000 views, 300,000, 400,000, 600,000. And I should have had this pulled up. I didn't even think about it. He's also, I believe, really big on Rumble. So look at that right here, Tucker Carlson. 1 million subscribers on Rumble, and then 160,000, 350. So if you total these together, that's probably 800,000 views he's getting per video. That's pretty significant. Along with, you know, I'm sure the subscribers probably overlap the views. I can't imagine people watch this full podcast on each one. Maybe they do. I don't know. But 3.7 million subscribers on YouTube, 1 million on Rumble. That's what you call successful. The Fox News needed him more than he needed Fox News. But you can tell when Tucker talks, he believes what he's saying. He's really good at asking questions in his interviews. He understands, he analyzes. He doesn't just look for his little gotcha moments like Don Lemon does. And you could tell it firsthand when Don Lemon did that Elon Musk interview, which I think was still his biggest video since being independent. He just, when he's going against someone he doesn't like, he looks for gotcha moments. He doesn't try to understand. He doesn't try to have a conversation. He doesn't try to talk. He just looks for clickbait. Kind of like what all those liberal TikTokers do, like Harry and Dean and all them. So this will, if she is truly as followed and as loved as everyone's trying to say she is, and as good as an anchor as she thinks she is, she'll end up like Tucker. But I think most of them know she's going to end up like Don Lemon. Largely forgotten about. So that's pretty much it. She's gone. I know a lot of you are probably really upset you're not going to be able to see Reidout anymore. Most of you probably didn't even know that show existed. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, comment. Let me know if you guys are liking the views. Let me know if you guys are liking the thumbnails. My fiance's been putting them together. I think they're awesome, the newer ones and everything. Let me know what you guys think about that. Subscribe to everything below, and I'll catch you next time.